And we welcome to the show Dr. David Klein of the Stages of Life Institute, a regular guest right here, and he helps make all of our radio broadcasts possible. We also get to spend 2 hours every Sunday with the good doctor on News 96.5. I hope you'll tune it in. 3 o'clock every Sunday. We have 2 full hours, and what you get there is the bonus. You get to call or text into the show. So that's every Sunday at 3 o'clock on News 96.5 right there on your dial. You can also get that at the News 96.5 app. But now back to my show here on this station. And we've been having a series on supplements and things that you would add to your diet. And now we're going to be talking about minerals. Now, I thought minerals were something you found in a gold mine or silver mine.
They are, okay? Those are minerals, okay? But they're not terribly edible.
That's true.
You know, if you went ahead and took some garnet and swallowed it, a marvelous source of silicon, okay? However,
it would chip my tooth.
It might chip your teeth. It would certainly scratch your innards. But a mineral, okay, is an inorganic substance. It's an element. Okay, and they sit in crystals, okay, and that's just the way these things go. So if you're looking at a gem, marvelous. They're very, very cool, all right? However, in the context here, a mineral is an inorganic substance that acts in a particular way called an enzyme cofactor. So when Grandma said, take your vitamins and minerals and minerals are both enzyme cofactors. A vitamin is an organic substance, okay, but a mineral is inorganic. But what do these things do? They're necessary for enzymes in your body to assume a certain shape. If they don't assume that shape, they don't work. You know, we all studied about hemoglobin when we were kids and that iron that sat right in the center of the molecule holding it all together. And if you didn't have that iron, you became anemic. Oh, go figure, okay? There's a mineral, okay, there's tertiary structure of the protein, okay, if it doesn't assume that particular form, guess what? It doesn't work and you become anemic. Well, the same thing happens with other disease states. Okay, well, let's take diabetes as an example. Not that anybody out there has diabetes or might even know anybody with diabetes, but adult onset diabetes. What happens? Does your pancreas all of a sudden stop? Well, that can happen if you develop mumps. That can happen if you develop a cancer. That can happen if you develop pancreatitis. But more times than not, okay, the insulin levels that you've got on board are actually high. Insulin goes up, but blood sugar goes up dangerously, and you end up with diabetes. Where's the pathology? More times than not, it's a vanadium or chromium deficiency. Well, let's think that one through for just a moment. What's vanadium? Vanadium is a transition element. Okay, chromium, very, very interesting substances. They modulate, or influence the insulin receptor at the cell membrane. Well, what does this mean? It means that if they're not there, it doesn't work. Then all of a sudden, the body becomes resistant to insulin. Insulin levels go up, yet the blood sugar skyrockets. Okay, how do you fix it? Well, replace that which is missing. You know, if you're missing a tire in your car, you can see it. The problem with vanadium and chromium, minerals, is that you can become diabetic as a result of these two deficiencies. Do I want you to go run out and get this? No, because it's actually rather dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, you can poison yourself with vanadium. Vanadium is very, very tricky. It was the first, oddly enough, it was the first prescription diabetes medicine ever brought on the market. It's called vanadyl sulfate back in the early 20th century. Well, guess what? It's available over the counter now. Doesn't mean it's safe. Well, okay, so vanadium and chromium must be taken together and they must be taken in the right ratio or it can be dangerous. Too much chromium, you die as well. We are talking microgram doses of these things. You have to be very, very careful. Well, what else? Okay, what other diseases are influenced by minerals? Well, how about thyroid disease? Zinc and selenium deficiency lead to hypothyroidism. What do you know about that? Selenium deficiency can actually lead to autoimmune thyroid disease. So in case you might have ever heard of anybody with thyroid disease, a zinc and selenium deficiency may have been what caused these things. So what do these have in common? Zinc, selenium, vanadium, and chromium. Okay, they're all minerals. They're all inorganic. They're all taken as organic salts in order to be absorbed, but they must be taken in the appropriate ratios relative to each other and taken within a safe, underscore, bold, italicized, safe dosage, or you've caused yourself some damage. Very, very simple. What other, of these minerals are necessary for you to pay attention to? Well, silicon and boron, oddly enough, are two that we pay very little attention to, but they're necessary for bone health. But my favorite one of the bunch is strontium. Strontium citrate in particular is a salt that you can take that will harden bone. It may be the underlying mineral deficiency, the thing that causes osteoporosis. And you're going to go, well, gee, what about estrogen excess? What about estrogen deficiency? What about vitamin D3? Well, very good. But all of these things are necessary for bone health, but the one that actually hardens the bone is strontium. Very few people pay any attention to strontium citrate. This stuff is cheap. We keep it in the store. I give it to folks, allow people to buy it that have osteoporosis or those individuals of a certain age that are at risk for developing it. Because if you take it proactively, it may well prevent the development or slow the development of osteopenia or osteoporosis. Interesting stuff. So about 15, 16 years ago, okay, my daughter's 10 years old. She comes down with autoimmune thyroid disease. Now, not being somebody who's real passive about these kinds of things, I decided to try to figure out how to fix it. You're not supposed to be able to fix it. That's wrong. You can fix it. What I did with her way back in the day was I cobbled together a combination of these minerals for her to take, but she was only 10 years old. Well, try to get a 10-year-old to take a handful of minerals that taste like, they're capsules. They just don't appeal to a 10-year-old kid. So what I did was I had it manufactured, again, at a pharmaceutical company. This one was in Tampa. We now have it done by a different manufacturing pharmaceutical company because 15 years have come and gone. And we called it Daddy's Magic Minerals. Well, why would I call it Daddy's Magic Minerals? Now we shortened it to Magic Minerals because she's 26, okay, and no longer need the daddies in there because that's how I got her to take it. Why did we call it Magic Minerals? Because it's a balanced chelate. That's not so magical, okay? The selection's very interesting. It's safe. That's not so magical. It's rather scientific. What's magical about it was the story behind it. And what I told her was that if you take these, okay, and I did this for you because it says Daddy's Magic Minerals, you will grow tall and slender like the beanstalk in Jack and the Beanstalk, hence the magic beans, the magic minerals. She took it. She remained very, very thin until she went to college, and then she became a college kid, and all bets were off. I'm now trying to wrangle that thing in, and she's doing much better now. But kids are kids, yours and mine both. They share one thing in common, and they don't listen to any of us.
Why don't we have any educational basis for the average person? I mean, you're a very learned doctor, one of the most learned. And how many board certifications are on that wall?
5.
Yeah, there you go, 5. But we go through grade school, we go through middle school, we go through high school, we go through college. We are never taught anything about nutrition.
Heck, why should they?
This is nuts.
They don't teach you how to read and write. Okay, let's be realistic here. If you go to buy something, kids don't even know how to make change. Now, kids might be in their 30s right now. The fact of the matter is that our educational system has failed us miserably on the basics. Okay, why don't they teach you how to balance your checkbook? Why don't they teach you about budgeting? Why don't they teach you about life skills? They used to. We used to call it civics. There was a thing called home ec. They taught people how to survive. Well, survival skills have been removed. This survival skill, however, is something that I'm going to try to give you as best I can. And they didn't teach me in medical school just for information's sake.
Really?
I had to learn this on my own. Nobody has a responsibility to educate you. You can go to school and they can teach you, but they can't learn for you. What's more is the people doing the teaching may not know enough to teach you anything. They're taught what they need to be taught in order to teach you what you're supposed to learn. What does that mean? It means you're not going to come out of school with much history. You're not going to come out with much philosophy. You may not even come out with language skills. When it comes to this element of science, health, and survival, it's up to you. Not me, not anybody else, but it's up to you to figure out how to keep yourself healthy. Because what you do for yourself today, what you do for yourself tomorrow is going to pay dividends in 5 or 10 years.
And a good place to start, and this is a work in progress, I guess we could say, Doctor, you want to go to the stagesoflife.net, and you're going to learn because we continue to put together more and more materials. Some of them, these interviews themselves, others are full programs. This is going to be the go-to place for you if you want to live healthy.
Well, give us a call at 407-679-3337, or check us out on the web at stagesoflife.net. Our office hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and we are located in Longwood at 1917 Booth Circle. That's right off of I-Form 434. The health store is open during office hours, so do come on in. We'd love to see you. And check us out on Facebook at Stages of Life Medical Institute.